watching KTN Prime. Let's focus, still stay with that story on illicit brew and take a look at this Super Bowl, which in a short while will have a number that should startle any single Kenyan, 150. That is the approximate number of Kenyans we have lost since the beginning of the year to illicit brew. Of course, this incident that we are getting from Narok and Kiambu is not the first that we have had since the beginning of the year, and any single government should be concerned about this, which raises the question that we are asking as well. Is the government losing the war on illicit brew? In studio, I have with me the NACADA chairman, John Mututho, to answer some of the questions, some of the concerns that we have as a country. Bwana Chairman, thank you so much for joining us on KTN Prime. Are you losing the war?
No, not exactly. We are not losing the war. What we are doing is that we are seeing the last kicks of a dying horse. What we have done now are some very, very serious measures. One, we have impounded all the 3,300 drinks that you Kenyans take. And to gratify viewers to note that out of the batch of 3,300, none of them has so far been cleared. We are waiting for the final certifications and then we're able to clear. For instance, the first 5 that was taken by Interior, the Minister of Interior, to test check, involving some of the most popular brands, those who are found to have certain things that are not correct, like presence of aflatoxins in opaque beers, presence of reed, presence of such heavy metals as mercury and things like that. So what these people are now doing is that they have allowed some people who are said to be counterfeiters. I'm telling them now, and I'm telling the KTN and all the Kenyan viewers, that it's up to you. If you are the manufacturer, to take care of your stuff. We will not take this nonsense that the cognac we have seen here today is counterfeit. We cannot all be signatories to your own product. So if by tomorrow the cognac don't come in clear and clean, they are responsible. And I'm now selling them. And the ones that have been mentioned there and others to follow, they should be off the shelves. The police are listening. Everybody is listening. The viewers are listening. The consumers are listening. Whether all the other cognacs are good or bad, it doesn't matter. So the police are listening, all other relevant authorities are listening. The Super Bowl that I had the figure of 150. Of course, that is minus the number that we're getting today from Narok that has now gone up to 12. Where does the buck stop? The buck stops with us. Because we have a responsibility as a government to... When you say us, who is us? The government. Because we have a responsibility as a government. First of all, like we are saying, today, we have had I've just come from Kimende. Kimende is in Rari constituency. And if by tonight, there are still any wines and spirits open, and there are still spirits being sold, and somebody dies, then it's the government to blame. If up until now we have not tested after 3-4 months, it's the government to blame. You can't blame the citizenry. But I'm saying this is a war we cannot afford to lose. People must enjoy, particularly when we are tending to go towards Christmas. But Kenyans need to be guaranteed of quality. And the situation, the way it is a deadly situation of runaway brewers who are using fake licenses. Others have not been licensed, taking the lapse between the county government licensing and the national government licensing, which is NACADA. That lapse is what has been overexploited by these people. But as we see it, our minister, Lenku, Lenku, has issued a directive that if people die in your premises for drinking something that is poisonous, whether you are calling it what or what, then you are to blame and you should be taken in for manslaughter. Right. You said this is a war we cannot afford to lose. Does NACADA have the capacity to stop this once and for all? And yes. If you do not have the capacity, are you thinking of partnering with public health officers or who are already on the ground anyway? We have done some very strategic things, like you've seen. We have an interagency forum now. All the agencies, including government chemists, to the police, the CID, anti-narcotics, all of us sit regularly and then plan and what we are going to do. Now, what is missing right now is one very small ingredient, and which I think the Inspector General promised me this week is going to sort out. You are going to see in the countryside, in towns, National Police Service, NACADA. This will eliminate this question that you have an OCS here who is protecting you, you have a chief here who is protecting you. Because in our database, I think we know everybody who is selling alcohol. I feel we know everybody who is likely to do illicit alcohol. But the desire to arrest those particular people is with us at the national level. But at local level, the people there are part of the problem.
Let me take you back a little bit to what you've just said. You said that if someone comes to your bar and they drink and they die of illicit alcohol, the bar owners will be held responsible. Let me be the devil's advocate here. What do you expect the bar owners to do? Surely they cannot test all the alcohol that comes into their premise.
Linda, something very basic, and I hope everybody is watching.
Help them to understand how basic
it is. That when you buy your stocks, buy from authorized dealers, which could be a factory. So if you are cornered, you pass the buck to the factory, and then you'll come down and shut down that factory and charge them appropriately. But this idea of saying that somebody came with a white car and sold us drinks here and then disappeared, that cannot be tolerated. That excuse has been used from 1994.
Can no longer be used now.
Can no longer be used. So, like in Kemende, we got a lady there, the lady who was the bar owner. There is no reason good enough that we will listen, except where did you get these drinks from? And then when we know where they came from, we shall go to that factory and raid. And at onset, because like they said it could be counterfeit, we'll close the factory for 3 months as we're doing the investigation.
Right, finally, before I let you go, is it time we declare this a national disaster?
No, it's time we do a clean sweep of all government officers who are sitting on their jobs. Before we declare it a national disaster, let us have people who can work. There are so many people in the streets who can be able to implement a simple directive, like why should we have drinks in Narok, which we have already gazetted and shown people that they should not be on? Why should we have in such a small center 16 bars that are not licensed? Is there an OCS there? Is there a chief? There must be somebody dead asleep on their job. So we start there. And since we are creating vacancies for people to work, let us also create vacancies for people to go to jail, so that we do not have these people fearing to drink just because they are not sure that somebody is having a fake CAB certificate and so forth.
Nakada Chairman John Mututho, thank you so much for speaking to us on KTN Prime, and of course for sharing your concerns and helping us to understand what is going on.